The biggest story in the rugby league world on Thursday was reports surfacing that Parramatta Eels captain Clint Gutherson would be allowed to speak to rival clubs. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, the decision came after a meeting between Gutherson and new coach Jason Riles, where the Eels stated they weren't able to make Gutherson an offer. It seems something of a surprise from the outside given Gutherson's long service to the club and extreme popularity, but it seems increasingly likely fans will be seeing him in different colors next year. Pundits are already breaking down how we got to this situation, and where Gutherson could end up next. Speaking on SEN's Breakfast with Vossi and Brandy, journalist Michael Karayanis believes the writing is on the wall for the Parramatta captain. "If I was a betting man, I dare say Clint Gutherson has played his last game for Parramatta," he said. "There's a fair bit to play out, because teams that want Gutherson, considering he's 30 years of age, would want him for next year. So they're happy to provide him a multi-year deal on the proviso he gets there next year. It's a big moment for Gutherson, who has spent all but 5 of his 211 NRL games at the Eels, and has become one of their leaders and most popular figures at the club. However, the reason he is now on the outer at the Eels is because new coach Riles doesn't view him as a fullback. Parramatta have recently signed Penrith young gun Isaiah Iongi, who is tipped to play at fullback next year. Karayanis says clubs could still pay that money for him to be at fullback, naming the Dragons as potential suitors. They don't see him as a fullback next year, they see him as that roaming utility role, Karayanis said, and they don't command $800,000 plus. But for the Dragons, if they want Clint Gutherson to play fullback, he could still get that $800,000 figure for the next couple of years. That's the difference. Parramatta can't make Clint Gutherson an offer right now that's not insulting, because they don't know how he's going to go in that new position, and that new position's value is far different in the cap than a starting fullback would be. Karayanis says Gutherson's choices are limited by the lack of clubs needing a starting fullback. "There's not a lot of clubs that you sit down and go, they need a starting fullback, but the Dragons do," he said. "They've got Sloan there, but Sloan still needs a bit more maturing and developing, and there's a school of thought that if you bulk him up, he might be able to play on the wing because of his size and speed."